a lot of time preparing this exhibit, a passion of the shoreline. This is something that we've been working on, sea level rise, communicating to the public. And I would like to introduce Jennifer Koney, painter, and Oliver Klink, photographer, and we'll do ladies first.
Well, thank you so much for being here. I also want to introduce Matt Kowalski, who did the Views from the Glass Bottom Boat series over here in the corner area. So thanks, Matt, also. Thank you for being here. This is a really important topic, I felt. 55 inches is the level that is projected for sea level rise for our San Francisco Bay by the end of this century. And that comes from the Adapting to Rising Tides project, a project team that I sat on for 3 years that did research about the vulnerabilities and assets of the San Francisco Bay so we can determine what are we expecting in the next mid-century, end of century. And when I saw the report saying that 55 inches was the projected sea level rise for our shoreline, and it was our shoreline, I was astounded. And my response was to create art. So, my paintings all have a 55-inch horizon line. They have a process that I developed called Resist and Pour, which I use silver leaf and cold water wax and cassava paste and on tape.
She mentioned that project 55 inches and what it actually meant to me. So I said 55, can I spend actually 55 days photographing in the cold weather and then showing where that water was actually coming from. So that's what I decided to do in 2013. So most of the images most of my images are actually from pretty much last year, from 2013. Just a few maybe from early on. And then when I was looking at those images, I was really thinking about how beautiful it is, right? As we look at this, how beautiful it is today. So I've been to those places, maybe some places about 7, 8 times, some other places only a few times. And every time I go to the same place, I notice a difference.
Pleasure to be here with these two fine artists. Jennifer invited me. I do radical relief art, so it was fun for me to go put my paper wet on the ground to show you what you'd be looking from a glass bottom boat. It's right over there on the side. So we're no longer going to be able to walk there, so you'll be able to look at it from the water level.
So I'm going to introduce Assembly Member Bill Quirk, who I met working on the Hayward Area Shoreline Planning Agency. And I have a copy of the Scientific American from December 2011. I want to share a Bill Quirk quote. I was new and didn't know how to get things done. That's the quote. That is an actual quote, but before, let's put it into perspective. One persistent individual has instilled a long-term view in Hayward, California, on the eastern shore of San Francisco Bay. When Bill Quirk, a former NASA climate modeler and nuclear arms expert, won a seat on the city council in 2004, he repeatedly tried to get the city to pay attention to the threat of sea level rise. No luck. And he was new and didn't know how to get things done. So basically, Bill, as part of the Hayward Area Shoreline Planning Agency, kind of spearheaded and suggested a $30,000 study, which was really
The precursor
Yes,
to the
yes.
Adapting to Rise, right?
It was the impetus for this Adapting to Rising Tides group that is now, I was talking to Jennifer, that is now, all the municipalities from Albany down to Union City and Fremont that are working on this issue. And so I think we all had that presented at the HASPA meetings, and it was so revolutionary and so inspiring, and it wasn't a head in the sand scary thing. And I think that that's the impetus for Jennifer's motivation, the Shoreline's motivation to communicate this to the public. And I just want to point out, we do have Betty Hughes here, who is the co-chair for the Hayward Area Shoreline Planning Agency. And without further ado, I would like to turn the microphone over to Mr. Cole.
Thank you.
Thank you all. Yeah, Betty and I, a ranger over there,
Mark Taylor.
Mark Taylor, Jennifer Aiken, we were all on ASPA. And I wasn't one to bring it up, but there was unanimous support. And we had to work a lot because ASPA doesn't have a budget. But we got 10,000 each from the city, the Hayward Area Recreational District, and East Bay Parks. And I think that consultant did hundreds of thousands of dollars of work, for which now everybody, he is the expert, so it was in his interest to do it. But it's a revolutionary way of dealing with sea level rise, in that rather than putting a big barrier out at the end of the marsh, he wants us to build up the marsh and then have smaller barriers for the days when we get really big storms. Not only is it better from an environmental point of view, but it's also cheaper. So the state's Nature Conservancy, the state agency that is concerned